I'm probably ruffling a lot of feathers. I've always tended to do that ever since I asked God for the gift of prophecy. I didn't know exactly what I was getting into, but oh, that all of God's people would prophesy. You might get your face slapped a few times. I have. You might be kicked out of church. But you'll be on God's side. And you have a large family waiting for you in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad if you have to suffer. And if your flesh suffers, like Jonah's flesh suffered. But it was for a good purpose. His ego suffered. It was for a good purpose. Joshua Malekula, or whatever his name, I'm sorry, he is getting roasted right now. And mostly by the religious leaders. Just like Jesus. Main persecution is probably going to come to even the last believers, as it always has, through religious leaders who are just satanically motivated. You know, they're probably going to be bringing in blue laws, folks. It's going to look so good and so Christian. But that's another Catholic lie, that Sunday is the Sabbath. It isn't. Wake up. God never changed his holy day. And this isn't, the Sabbath isn't some heavy burden. It's for us. I used to be, when I was under the law, when I felt like I was under the law and I had left off grace, before I understood grace. I was very anxious on Fridays to get everything done, to make sure I didn't have to cook on the Sabbath and I didn't have to do this and that. And I would yell at the kids, and it wasn't gracious. But Jesus brought grace and truth. And he said, the Sabbath is made for man, not man for the Sabbath. But he acknowledged the Sabbath, and the first church acknowledged the Sabbath, and they gathered on the Sabbath in the synagogues. Synagogues, okay? We are talking the Sabbath after Jesus, okay? The early Christians did not all of a sudden, upon Jesus' resurrection, decide that Sunday was the Sabbath because Jesus rose on Sunday. And by the way, what's exactly 3 days and 3 nights after an evening?